All right, welcome back, everybody. We have a new episode today. My name is Mike Recinto, and this is Inside Look, South Jersey Girls Basketball. And today I have a special guest from Lenape High School, Regan King. Regan, would you like to say hello?
Hi, thank you for having me this week.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really excited to have you. I just want to get started, if you don't mind, and ask you some basic questions, and then we'll get into the interview. So, a couple quick things. So, where were you born?
I was born in Voorhees, New Jersey, but I've lived in Mount Laurel my entire life.
So, what's it like living in Mount Laurel?
Mount Laurel's a pretty small town compared to like Cherry Hill and Marlton and Medford. I can get to the other side in like 15 minutes. And I know pretty much everybody growing up. So it's nice having friends that like follow you through school all the years. And there's always something to do around here.
Yeah, it's funny because Marlton and Mount Laurel are so close, so we get to know a lot of the kids. And Mount Laurel is a great town. I really like it there too. So, you're a senior, correct? Awesome. What made you decide to go to Lenape?
So Lenape is like a mile from my house. It's super close and very convenient. And just the great academics and great athletics. It's a good combination to have and just seemed like the best choice for me.
That's great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your family?
So I live with my mom, my dad, my sister Kaitlyn, who's a freshman, and we got a puppy for Christmas. His name's Sully, and I love him so much. My mom is an actuary in Philadelphia, so she's always on calls and doing math. She tells me math rules the world, but I don't believe that. My dad is a first grade teacher, so he's always able to help me and my sister with our homework when we need it. And yeah, Kate was at Lenape with me this year. It was so much fun being able to be in school with her for at least 1 year and play basketball with her. And it was always fun to see each other in the hallways.
That's pretty awesome. You know, I actually remember playing my daughter Gabby playing against Kaitlyn, you know, all through the years in travel basketball when Marlton would play Mount Laurel, and I think she's an unbelievable player, and it's cool that they get to play together. I'm looking forward to it because when my Gabby becomes a senior, my Sophia is going to be a freshman, so they'll be in the same situation as you two. So hopefully they'll be able to have a great experience.
I hope so too. I think it was such a unique experience because I know not many people get to say they played with their siblings in high school or just got to see them in general. So I think it'll be a really great experience for them.
Now, who else do you have come to cheer you on at your games? I know I met your grandmother after the Lenape Cherokee game, and she's just a wonderful lady. We were talking for about 10, 15 minutes, and I didn't even know it was your grandmother until I finally said something like, "Oh, who are you here with?" And she mentioned you guys, and I thought it was fantastic. She's a sweet woman.
She comes to my games a lot. She's pretty local. My dad's brother and my cousins, they live in Mount Laurel as well, so they try to make it to our games. I have cousins in further South Jersey. They try to make it sometimes. I know last year when we went on our state run, my cousins from like South Jersey came, and my cousins from Delaware, my grandparents from Florida flew in. So it's definitely great having that support system where all my family tries to come whenever they can. It's nice that pretty much everyone's local other than my grandparents in Florida. But no, they definitely try to come to a lot of games, as many as they can.
That's awesome. So what do you do besides basketball? What kind of hobbies do you have?
Besides basketball, I've played soccer pretty much my whole life as well. I played for all 4 years in high school. And then on top of basketball and soccer, I picked up golf in high school as well. So I was a 3-sport athlete. I really enjoy traveling. My parents make fun of me that I've been to more countries than they have. I like just being outside in general, hiking, biking, going for walks, going for runs, working out, just staying active pretty much. That's what I enjoy doing.
Well, you mentioned traveling. So what's maybe your favorite place that you visited in the United States or the world?
That's a hard question. I think I have a few favorite places.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Switzerland. It was there that I found out I'm a big mountain person. I really liked it there. And I also really enjoyed Peru. I
You went to
did. I
Peru?
traveled to Peru last summer as a volunteer medical intern. So I think that's part of the reason why I enjoyed it. It was just a very different experience from all the other places that I've been to.
That's pretty awesome. I know that we'll talk more about that later. What did you go to Machu
I
Picchu at
did.
all or
Over
no?
the weekends. We had some off time from being in the hospitals. So the one weekend I went to Machu Picchu and did the Incan Trail. And then the following weekend I did the Rainbow Mountains.
Now, when you went to Machu Picchu, did you take the train up or did you
We
hike?
took the train. Um, there was like kind of a bus that kind of took you up the mountain and then you walked up from there. Um, it was a
Wow.
lot easier and a lot like not as time consuming.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's one of the places that I would love to go and visit is Machu Picchu. My mom had gone there on vacation, and
It's
it looks
incredible.
amazing.
You
So
definitely have to make it there at some point in your life.
now, how good is your Spanish? When are you able to
So I
communicate
took
when you go?
Spanish all 4 years in high school. I'm good at reading, writing. I can understand a little bit, but my accent is not too good. It's a little shaky.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? I think you learn, and maybe that's why getting to know you and talking to you, you sound so mature because when you travel, it gives you like a different life experience and a different viewpoint, and I think it makes you mature a little bit and grow, which is really going to benefit you as you're moving forward, which is fantastic.
Thank you. I agree.
Now, I'm going to ask you, what if you could choose any word to describe yourself, what would it be and why?
I think I would pick the word determined. Whether it's in athletics or in school or community service or whatever I'm doing, I'm always determined to be the best person I can be and just like strive to do my best in everything. I think determine's a good word because it just encompasses how hard I work to achieve my goals and how once my mind is set on something, like that's what I'm going to do.
Well, I have to say, now that you say the word determined, I remember watching you when Lenape played against Red Band Catholic at the tournament at RV Shore versus South Jersey. And I remember commenting to like a couple people, I can't believe Regan is getting so many rebounds. I couldn't believe it. I was like, we were all in shock. And we were like, there's no way she's as tall as she is. She's playing like she's 5'11". You were getting up there and you were like out rebounding people. And it was like amazing. So I would have to say determined is a really good word to describe you for
Thank
sure,
you.
which is fantastic. Now, when did you start playing
I
basketball?
started playing basketball when I was about 5 years old. I pretty much played my entire life and just grew up loving the game. I played pretty much every sport you can think of as a kid, just to try everything out and meet new people and make friends. But basketball has always stuck with me. It's always been my favorite.
Now, what was your earliest memory of or experience of basketball?
My earliest memory of basketball was probably just growing up playing rec basketball. My dad was always the statistician, and even for like AAU, he continued to do that and be one of my biggest supporters. My mom would coach me, and I remember just playing JKNBA like in the fall and spring with all my friends and just meeting so many new people and having so many good memories, like not even just on the court, but off the court as well.
That's great. So, who are your basketball role models?
My basketball role models are probably Shannon Mulroy and Kendall Keys. I was lucky enough to play with both of them during my career at Lenape, and I just really admire them for being great people and great athletes. They always did the little things, and while they were big scorers, their biggest thing to me was making the people around them better and just making the team more of a team. I think the atmosphere and the energy that they brought every single day just made every single person better. And that's who I always strive to be like.
That's pretty cool. Can you tell us a little bit about, what it's like playing basketball at Lenape? I mean, I have nothing but respect for your team and your coach. And in fact, your coach is just fantastic. I've talked to him several times after games, and we were just chatted up. He's just a nice person, really very, very, very friendly, really, respectful. Can you tell us what it's like, being at
I
Lenape?
really enjoyed my 4 years playing at Lenape. Um, I would describe it more as a family than a basketball team. We were all really, really close. And in the hallways, we would all just be like talking together, walking with each other. We did so much outside that it didn't feel like going to basketball every day. It was more like hanging out with your friends. And sometimes we would laugh and joke, but we knew when to get serious. And I think that was a good combination to have, of putting in that hard work, but also letting loose and having fun and knowing that it was for a good time as well.
That sounds like you really had a great time. So, can you give us some details about your high school career
Yeah,
so far?
so I played varsity all 4 years. Um, my I started as a sophomore. So I was varsity 4 years, started for three. Um, and my junior year, we won the Group 4 sectional final and went to the state finals. And although we came up short there, that was probably my most memorable season. We all worked really hard, and it was great to see how our hard work paid off. Um, and then this year, my senior year, was just exciting as well, coming off of the state run and still achieving goals that we didn't think were possible. It was really exciting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed, playing against you, or watching Cherokee play against Lenape, but also watching you and watching some different highlights. And it's just cool because I don't know if all of our listeners know, but Cherokee, Lenape, Shawnee, Seneca, they're all in the Lenape Regional School District. So they're all sister schools. So to see kids from the different schools excel and achieve success, it's pretty exciting. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a great rivalry in basketball and sports, but I think it's a great friendship off the court as well.
Yeah, me as well. So what do you think? Can you let us know about some, different achievements and awards from, basketball and also from school that you could share with the listeners?
Basketball wise, some accomplishments that have happened over my career were both my junior year and senior year. I was named to the All Olympic Conference team. Senior year, I was named to the All County team, and I was awarded the McLeod Memorial Scholarship, which was truly an honor. And academically, I am in National Honor Society. I'm a National Merit Commended student. I'm top 10% of my class, ranked number 12. Um, I have the Spanish seal of biliteracy. Yeah.
That's pretty great. I mean, the funny thing is, a lot of these girls that I'm talking to, they're just like you. They're very hardworking and humble. I think it's just fantastic, and it's nice for you to share this because there's listeners out there that maybe are underclassmen or maybe they're younger, and they look to the players that are older as role models. So hopefully, this will inspire and motivate these younger girls to stick to the books and to get really good grades and to focus on being an excellent student as well as athlete. So can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to be a team captain?
Being a team captain was just a really rewarding experience. It was nice to know. It was a great feeling that my teammates and my coaches thought that highly of me. And it was like, it didn't really change anything on the team. Everybody is just as important as everybody else. We need everybody to play all the roles and do all the little things. But it was just nice to know that my teammates thought of me as a leader on the court.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, what would you describe your strengths this season or throughout your
I
career?
think my strengths this season in particular were seeing the court and being able to know where my teammates were and when to make the passes. My other 3 years, I was known more as a shooter. I would just knock down threes, and that was a lot of my game. But I think this year I stepped more into that point guard kind of role and was able to see the court and break presses and know when to do that kind of thing. I mean, defense has always kind of been my strong suit. I'm always that like nitty gritty player that like gets down and gets those rebounds and those steals. But I think what I'm proud of this season was working more offensively and like being able to see the court and work towards that point guard role.
So, how did your season differ this year, being a captain and a point guard versus the three previous years where maybe you were shooting on you were like a shooting guard and you're coming
My
off the
three
ball.
previous years, I mean, I had Kendall and Shannon and Nevaeh and these really great players that kind of took the lead and took me under their wing and showed me what Lenape basketball was all about. And just having them there was really helpful and showed me like my senior year, this is what I need to do now that they're all gone. So I think just this year, without having them there, I kind of tried to mirror what they did for me the previous 3 years and kind of take their role and mentor those other younger players for them to be able to play and keep that tradition of intense Lenape basketball keep going.
Wow. So, what would you say are your
Um,
weaknesses?
I still think offense is kind of a weakness. Again, I've been more of a shooter, so I don't think driving the lane would ever be one of my strongest suits. Um, there's always room for improvement for my ball handling and my defense. I was known to get in foul trouble quite a bit. So I think it's just like mentally, I would need to improve. I would get in my head a lot, which would cause me to get fouls and not drive the lane. So I think just mentally, not focusing on mistakes and staying calm and collected during the game. I think that's the biggest thing I need to work on.
So, what was it like playing your senior year? Being a captain and knowing that it's your last year of high school basketball.
It
What
was
was it
really
like?
bittersweet playing senior year. It was exciting because I got to experience senior night and all those big moments that I've been waiting for my entire 4 years. So that was really exciting. But at the same time, knowing that it was the last time I was going to step on that Lenape court wearing Lenape across my chest, it was a little sad at times, but it just kind of motivated me to play every game like it was going to be my last because I knew there were only so many games I would get to play this year.
So, what was your most memorable basketball moment for this high school
For
season?
this season, my most memorable moment would probably be senior night. It's just something that I've been looking forward to for 4 years, and it was just so exciting to be able to play in it and share that day with the 5 other seniors on the team. And it was just really exciting. You know, it was everything I dreamed of.
Seems pretty
Yeah, it really
special.
was. I had a great time that game. And it was nice we were able to pull out the win, but all the underclassmen made it really exciting and were really happy for us and helped celebrate. So it was definitely a special moment.
That's fantastic. Now, let's talk about the COVID-19 and how it's affected your senior season, your senior year.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
COVID-19 has definitely had a big impact on me this year. I mean, I know Cherokee season was cut short, so that I would have been so upset about that. But other big events were canceled on me pretty quick. Disney, prom. Luckily, we're able to have an in-person graduation later. but that was canceled for the day we were supposed to have it. It was pretty upsetting, but I mean, my friends and I have been getting creative to find new ways to like interact with each other. My teachers have all been super helpful. I mean, this is not a situation that anybody wanted. And I mean, it was more upsetting the fact that I can't go back and say thank you to the teachers that I've had for the past 4 years that have helped me. I mean, to be honest, I don't really remember my last day at Lenape, and that was a little bit upsetting to me. But I mean, just trying to find ways to overcome this and like get creative and find different ways to just stay connected with everybody. That's definitely been interesting. A year I'll never forget.
So what kinds of things have you been doing to connect with your friends
My
since
friends
things
and
have
I
been shut down?
FaceTime a lot. We'll do like any kind of video chat that we can to see each other. Um, Lately, we've been going to like parking lots and like sitting in our cars in a little circle, staying 6 feet apart. But just like trying to do the little things. We had a little prom at my house just to for a few friends to get dressed up and take pictures outside and just find little things that make people feel like the year isn't over yet.
Wow. Well,
June
when is your
16th,
actual
next
last day of school?
Tuesday. Um,
Wow. Are you
yeah,
excited
I
about that?
mean, my classwork is pretty much done. But I know that there are teachers and administrators coming around to drop off diplomas, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good experience. I mean, it's definitely a memorable experience. I know that a lot of things were canceled, and that's kind of disappointing. But it sounds like you and your friends have made the best of it, and you made some great memories. And the great thing is that if you maintain those friendships, you'll be able to do a lot of things. Later in the summer, going in, maybe you can do a big going away party with your
Yeah,
friends.
I hope
As you guys
so.
get
I
ready
mean,
to go to
it's
college.
exciting to see that everybody's ready to move on for the next chapter in their life, but it's also nice to see that everybody's very innovative and adaptable so that when big obstacles come in the way, we're able to overcome them.
So let's transition to
So
college.
next year,
What are
I
your
will be
plans for
going to
college?
Villanova University and I will be studying biology on the pre-med track.
Okay. Now, why did you choose
I
Villanova
chose
out of all the
Villanova
schools?
because of the size, pretty much. It's small enough where you can know everybody, but big enough where you're still meeting new people and forming new connections all the time. And I think the size is perfect because it's a great community feel. Everybody's really passionate about where they are and what they're doing. And that's the kind of community I want to be around. It's just great for my major, and the pre-med track, the advising is like top of the line. So it was just the best fit for me.
So, what are your plans now with basketball
So
going
I'm
forward?
looking to play club at Villanova. I ultimately made the decision that playing varsity basketball in college, committing to a college team, and doing the pre med track, that workload would be a lot to manage. And I'd rather focus on my academics. So I'm taking the academic route, and I'm still going to be involved in basketball, play club, probably coach. And so that's what I'm looking to do.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about your coaching
Yeah,
experience, what you've been
so
doing?
last year, I believe it was, I took over a fourth grade Mount Laurel travel team with Shannon Mulroy. We were co-head coaches. And this year, I was assistant coach for that same team that they moved up to fifth grade. So I've been working with those girls for the past 2 years, running practices, helping in games, just talking with the girls. And then this summer, I'm the fifth grade AAU coach for the Philadelphia Bells team as well.
Now, what made you get
It
into the
was really
coaching
random,
aspect?
actually. We were really close family friends with the head of Mount Laurel Girls Travel, and the fourth grade team didn't have a coach. So he called up my mom and was like, hey, would you be interested? And she was like, not really, but Regan would be. So me and Shannon got into that. And after the first practice, I kind of just fell in love with it. So this year when they had a coach, I offered to help assistant. And then same thing with Bells this year. They didn't have a fifth grade coach. So I stepped in and said, I would really love to take over a team if you have a spot for me. And it all happened to work out.
So, what did you enjoy most about your experience coaching these young
My
girls?
favorite part about coaching them is just seeing the passion and excitement that they have for the game. I can kind of see my younger self in them, seeing how much they love the game and how excited they are to play and just be on that court. I think just being able to ignite that fire and teach that next generation things that I know and pass on my information, I know the game is in good hands.
I have to say that, out of all the years that I've been, watching the girls play, Mount Laurel's travel program is very, very strong. I mean, they field, fantastic teams every single year in every single age group. So I think it's really nice that you're able to, inspire and motivate these girls, because in a few years they're going to be going to Lenape, and hopefully you've played a part where you've inspired them and motivated them
Yeah,
to stick
that's
with it,
definitely my
which is
goal, that
fantastic.
they at least learn a little bit from me. And it's just an honor that the travel program, they've given me so much. I've played for them from fourth grade to eighth grade. And it's just, they've given me so many friends that I'm really honored to be able to come back and coach them and leave a little bit of a legacy.
Well, since you're talking about coaching and volunteering, I want to get into community service with you. So I know that community service is important to you. Can you tell us a little bit about, what you're doing in the
Yeah, I
community?
try to stay really active in the community. With the same travel program with Mount Laurel girls basketball, I organize Think Pink Day. This year it was 2 days, but in the previous years it has only been one. And I organize local girls basketball games. We have baskets for auction. We have a concession stand. The gym's all decorated. Teams get uniforms. It's a really exciting day, and all the proceeds from that day go to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. So over the last, I want to say 5 years, we've raised $13,000, which was really exciting. Just a really rewarding experience to be able to work with them and be able to donate that money to a good cause. On top of that, I organize a fundraiser just around my neighborhood during the holidays. Some friends and I go holiday caroling with our really good singing voices. And in exchange, we collect non-perishable food items that we donate to a local food pantry. Just a nice gift for around the holidays, help people that are less fortunate. Um, Other than that, it's just little local projects, coaching, and then again, like I mentioned before, Peru.
Yeah, I want the listeners to hear more about that. So can you tell us about what you're doing and how you got
In
involved, and actually what
which
you are doing
Peru. So
in
that
Peru?
was kind of a random thing I
Yes.
stumbled upon. Um, I kind of was looking up different Doctors Without Borders things because I thought that was a path I wanted to take in my future. And I came across a program, Projects Abroad, and I applied for it and got accepted. So for 2 weeks in July, I traveled to Cusco, Peru with a bunch of other volunteers from around the world. And we worked in the mornings. We went to either clinics or to schools, and we shadowed doctors, performed checkups, just helped patients pretty much. Then at lunch, we had lunch. And then the afternoons were dedicated to workshops and learning different things from first aid to local Peruvian diseases. Um, and then the nights and weekends were for more touristy activities. So one day we did a dancing class, another day we did a cooking class, and it was just a really great experience.
Now, would you
I would
recommend for other
absolutely
people to do
recommend
that?
for other people to do that. For me, it was a no-brainer. I was able to kind of marry all my passions of traveling, helping others, the medical field. Again, I said I took Spanish, so that was something I was interested in. Um, just being able to immerse myself in another culture and see what other people were experiencing, and then on top of that, like, be able to do things on my own and explore the city a little bit. It was a travel experience that I'll never forget. It's a lot different from like regular vacations, obviously, but it was so much fun and I would absolutely recommend it.
Now, were you ever scared or nervous, going, because I'm assuming that you would fly by yourself, or did you leave the
So
airport with a
I
group, or
flew
how'd
by
that work?
myself. One of my good friends went with me actually. So we went together. I wasn't too nervous about flying. I've flown by myself 2 or 3 other times. Um, so it wasn't that, but like I was a little nervous about my Spanish more than anything. Um, Being able to communicate with people and like not really knowing, I didn't have a lot of confidence in my language speaking skills. So that was kind of the source of my nervousness than anything else.
So, what would you say is your favorite part of that whole experience? Traveling abroad, going to Peru, working with the kids. Like, what do you remember like the most?
Um,
Like, what's going to stand out in your mind?
Definitely going to the school and working with the children is going to stand out in my mind. Um, we would do little like checkups on them. So it was the normal like health questionnaire. You had to ask them questions, and then blood pressure, just normal things like that. But then once that was done, they were all over us, just wanted to play games. We took a lot of pictures with them, played soccer, tag, all different kind of games. And it was just so much fun. And I definitely think that's the part I'm going to remember the most.
Now, what was Peru like? Is it hot,
The
cold?
people were super
What were the people
friendly.
like?
I stayed with a host family. The mom cooked amazing food. I really miss it. But the people were super nice, super helpful. They could kind of tell that we were there as part of a organization and not really from the area. So they were very patient, which was helpful. The kids were so excited to play with us, which was so fun. Um, and just when we went, it was winter, so it was freezing. It was like summer for us, and I was ready for like 90-degree weather. And at night, I put on every single piece of clothing I had because it was freezing.
Now, did you find it to be challenging working with kids who primarily spoke
It
Spanish?
was a little challenging. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of confidence in my language abilities. But there were clever ways that we figured out what they were talking about. So we could like, if there was a certain word that we didn't understand, we could point to something, we could demonstrate. So there definitely were times where you could tell there was a language barrier, but other than that, it wasn't extremely difficult. I think maybe because of my background taking Spanish in school, it was a little bit easier, but at times there were a few difficulties.
Now, I have to ask you, why are you so
I've
interested in
always
medicine?
been a science minded person. That's always what I've liked. It's changed throughout the years what I've um, liked in science, I guess. So when I was younger, I was super into like rocks and minerals and all that boring stuff. Um, but um, I just I like helping people, and that's something that I decided that I want to do for the rest of my life. And so the best way that I could think of doing that was to combine my passion for science and helping people. And I thought being a doctor was going to be the most rewarding way to do that.
Now, have you
I
thought about
have
what
thought
kind of
about it a
doctor
little
you want to
bit.
become?
Being with the kids in Peru showed me that I really want to work with children. Just being with the kids in Peru and then coaching and being around the community, I would rather take the route of pediatrics and do something in that field, whether it's just a pediatrician or pediatric oncology. I think that's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, that's great. I think, your love for children will definitely, help you out, and your caring heart. I just love everything that we've talked about so far, and this has been a really fantastic interview. We're getting to the tail end, so, maybe I thought since you're a senior, you could take a moment to maybe thank some of the people that have, helped you along the way and help you to achieve the success. Because I know that, your family is important to you and your teammates and, just the community in general
Yeah,
has
I
been
would
fantastic
definitely
for you.
like to thank a bunch of people. Obviously, my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, my aunts and cousins and grandparents and everybody that's ever came to one of my games and supported me. Um, their love is unwavering, and I'm so thankful for their support over these years. And I wouldn't be where I am today without them. My coaches, like Coach Hummel, um, I'm really thankful for him that he took a chance on me as a little freshman and believed in me, and saw me as a leader and continued to believe in me. And I'm really thankful for him and being able to play for him. Um, I'm also thankful for all the kids that I've coached up to this point. It's not too many, but I'm thankful that I get to share this journey with them and that they love basketball as much as I do. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for them.
That's fantastic. I'll tell you what, this has been a great interview. Like I said, I had the opportunity to meet you at that Think Pink day. It was a Sunday I'll never forget. And I remember walking in and, seeing you and your parents. And I was like, kind of like wondering what was going on because we didn't expect it to be there. We were just there for a basketball game. And I got to, to talk to you and your family for a good amount of time. And I was very, very impressed. So I'm just really glad that I had the opportunity to finally interview you. I know we're getting to the end here, and I want you to think about it for maybe a minute. But what would you say to any underclassmen or any young lady out there who's interested in basketball, who wants to become a player? What would you tell them? What word of advice or what advice would you give them that maybe that somebody shared with you or somebody you wish somebody would have
My
told you?
advice would be just don't ever give up. Keep working hard for your dreams. Hard work goes a long way, and it's always noticed. So even if you don't think you're the best player out there, even if you still have things to improve on, I do too, but hard work will always get you noticed and is always appreciated, and it'll get you further than God-given talent will, if you just keep working on it.
Wow, that's great advice. I just want to say thank you. Please send my best to your family. Hopefully, we'll be able to, connect with them in the future since you guys are only right around the corner. I know we talked about, before the interview, holding some, open basketball just to get the kids to shoot around and, to play once things become, safe and things
Thank you
open
so
up more.
much.
But
Thank you for
again,
having
please
me.
send
This
my
was a
best to your
really great
family.
opportunity.
You're welcome. Good luck at Villanova. I'll be cheering. I'll be cheering on Villanova, and I'll be looking out for you.
Thank
And
you so
hopefully, you'll become
much.
a really fantastic
Bye.
doctor someday.